Hi, I hope everybody is doing well. Today I'm going to talk about Bitcoin block. I'm going to describe how Bitcoin block is structured. Everybody here who are watching this video, I think you are interested in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is having its greatest time, and more and more people are getting interested, more and more startups are getting formed, more and more venture capitalists are investing in Bitcoin space, and lots of new ideas are popping up. I like the Ethereum project. I like the new Augur prediction market. If you know about a prediction market, it can help make better decisions. And there are lots of other new technologies coming up using blockchain technology. I like sidechain. I like counterparty. I like Storj, which is a decentralized storage system that is going to compete with Dropbox. And if you, I like to read the CoinDesk. CoinDesk provides very reliable news on Bitcoin, and I liked recent news like this one, like where this article described how the late mathematician John Nash probably helped inventing Bitcoin with his idea and proposition of ideal money. And I also liked this specific article where Andrew Barriser is using the Bitcoin open financial network and doing high frequency trading there, and he actually wrote about his experience. So everything we are seeing here, everything that's happening in Bitcoin space are basically depending on the blockchain, the underlying blockchain on which Bitcoin network is relying on. And Bitcoin block, what is a Bitcoin block? And if we look at Bitcoin block, you can see there are five major fields. You have magic number, and that is always this specific hexadecimal value 0x D9 B4 B59, and we can just convert it like this. So if you convert it into a decimal value, this decimal value will come up. And uh, the second field is the block size. Definitely a Bitcoin block is basically a file. That means it needs to have the have a certain amount of size. And recently there are discussions going on whether the block size should be increased or not. The lead developer of Bitcoin Core, Gavin Anderson, has proposed to increase the block size up to 20 megabyte. There are lots of debate going on. And then the most important thing, the block header, which consists of 6 items. I'll show you a raw block and where we'll discuss about these 6 components of the block header. And it also have a transaction counter and the transactions. So basically, what is Bitcoin? If you think Bitcoin as a currency, that means you are when you are buying something from somebody, you are paying him or her or that merchant with Bitcoin. That means you are making a transaction. So if we look at the blockchain.info, for example, this is a recent block. As you can see, this is a transaction where, for example, this transaction where this Bitcoin address, which had at that time 27.3649 Bitcoin, and it's sending 7.38 Bitcoin to this specific Bitcoin address. And also it's sending 27.3649 minus 7.38, it's going to be 19.9848 Bitcoin. That's sent to this specific Bitcoin address. So this is a Bitcoin transaction where in the left hand side of this green arrow is the input, which is a previous output of a previous transaction in a previous block, and the right hand side of this arrow is the output, where these are the output addresses and these are the output values, which the sum of these Bitcoin values needs to be equal to the sum of this Bitcoin value in the this input Bitcoin address holds at that time. Okay, so that means Bitcoin block is the main portion of the Bitcoin block is Bitcoin transactions. Okay, so how many transactions are there? That's this transaction counter, and this is 1 to 9 bytes. And so before I show you or about in more detail the Bitcoin transactions, I'll talk about the block header. So as you can see, I'm describing from the Bitcoin wiki, and you can just Google it and read this article. This description is very nice, which summarizes the whole Bitcoin generation process in a very nice way. So the Bitcoin block header, what are the 6 items in the Bitcoin block header? So if we go to the block hashing algorithm wiki page, as you can see, Bitcoin block header. So if you have any idea about the HTML page, for example, I'm using this Chrome browser. This is the Chrome browser, and I am reading a HTML page, right? So I can show you the page source. So as you can see, the page source is like this, right? So actually this is the HTML page. So this is the original page and this is the HTML page, and as you can see, there's a header that starts from head, and it stops, it ends here. So this part is the header of the HTML file, where we have a link for different CSS files and for styling, JavaScript, and other files. And on the other hand, then after the header, we have this body, the main body, which contains the main contents that we can see here. And it starts with the body tag, here. Okay, and as you can see at the end, you have the HTML. So that means so Bitcoin block is in a way, if I make analogy with this HTML file, Bitcoin block also has a header and a body part. So in the header part, we have this information. We have these 6 information in the header part, and in the body part, like as in the HTML file, we have the page content like this text in the body part. In the Bitcoin block file, in the body part, we have the transaction. We have the transaction information instead of the text information as in the HTML file. So let's look at let's go back to the blockchain.info. So as you can see, this is the blockchain.info, and it just shows you the latest transaction. As you can see, the most recent block is 361727. So the block generation process in Bitcoin started in 2009, and it's still going on. If you read this this previous article here in the description, you will see that Bitcoin in a Bitcoin network, every on average 6 blocks are generated every hour. Okay, so the most recent block is 361727. Okay, let's look at this block. Okay, so every block is identified by a unique hash string. Okay, so this is a unique hash string. We'll later describe how we generate this hash value. So as we were saying, the Bitcoin block header consists 6 items. One, so firstly, it has the version, the block version number, and the previous hash of the block. Okay, so that means when I showed you that the hash value which identifies this block number at the height, this block at the height 361,727. So this is identified this with this hash value. Okay, so each Bitcoin block has is linked to the previous Bitcoin block, and the previous Bitcoin block should also be identified with a hash value like this, right? So for example, this 361727, this is the Bitcoin block, and the previous Bitcoin block should be 361,726, right? And the hash value of that is basically this one, as you can see, the previous block hash value. That means this field hash prev block actually corresponds to these hash value in blockchain.info. So let's go through quickly with other fields. So we have hash Merkle root. We'll talk about later what is a Merkle tree and how the Merkle different Merkle sub trees are combined to get the final Merkle root that gets included into the block header. And the block creation time. For example, I say that every hour we have 6 blocks. That means every block should have its creation time. And that means when it has been accepted by the consensus mechanism that Bitcoin network has.